This is Stu Ellis reporting on behalf of the Illinois Soybean Association Checkoff Program. Cover crops are generally promoted to avert nutrient loss from year to year, but University of Illinois weed researcher Jasmine Mausbach uses cover crops for weed control in soybeans.
So this GROW project has a specific name, the GROW Legacy Factors. And what this project entails is looking at cover crop planting and then planting into cover crop and then also terminating at standard termination timings before we plant. And we are doing that to see what are the effects on the soil nitrogen ratios and weed control. And so for weed control, we're specifically looking for broadleaf and large seeded and small seeded broadleaves like morning glory and water hemp.
Okay, and GROW is really an acronym for get rid of weeds.
Yes,
You
yes,
are
it
very
is.
clever with that. So what we've got cover crop in here that was terminated before planting this spring.
Yep.
What was it, and how is it performing?
So this is cereal rye. We planted it last fall. I don't have the rate off the top of my head, but what we did was we terminated it with glyphosate or Durango specifically at 7 days before planting, 14 days before planting, and then we planted into the cover crop and then applied that glyphosate.
So it was planted. The beans were planted when it was still green.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And I see a little bit of wild lettuce and some mare's tail popping up, but not a whole lot else.
You do, yeah. And that was there before the cover crop was actually up and established. So this started growing early in the season.
Okay.
And this cover crop wasn't in for too long before the temperatures went below freezing. So most of its growth that you see here is actually from this spring.
All right.
Yeah.
Now you've got. Tell me about the plots that do not have the cover crop on it. What's have they been treated in any special way? And what do you
Yes.
see growing in them besides beans?
Thank you for asking. So there is a difference between the herbicide treatments. There are untreated plots, as you can see around, specifically behind me. We have a lot of water hemp. Water hemp and morning glory are the predominant weed species in this field, which is why we chose it for this project. And then we also have cover crop plots and non-cover crop plots that have residuals applied. So that is the 2,4-D that we mixed with glyphosate and applied at so for the termination timing and as a post.
Okay. Overall, what do you see as something that might get recommended to a farmer?
Well, we don't have the nitrogen tests back yet. We have collected the samples. That will be the true test to see if there is any efficiency in nitrogen use or if these cover crops take up nitrogen that could be used by the soybean, although soybean are nitrogen fixing plants. What I've seen the most, though, that is a takeaway from this is the weed control. Where you see the cover crop, yes, there are some escapes, but these were already growing before the cover crop was killed and was growing vigorously. So these were already established. And then the weeds that I guess aren't popping through are what is the big takeaway. We really haven't had too much weed pressure here. And that's, I think, the main goal of this project, the selling point.
That's your soybean update. I'm Stu Ellis. To learn more about the Illinois Soybean Association and the checkoff that pays off, go to ilsoy.org.